Hi, Aquarius, Sun and Rising. Welcome to your December 2024 Astral Update. It's Raina here. I'm just going to start from the beginning. I've got these listed here. And so on the first of the month, we have a new moon at 9 degrees of Sagittarius, which is in the house that you rule in astrology, the 11th house. The 11th house is the house of hopes and wishes, the house of friendships and groups and of gains. So the profits from your business. There can be new developments in one of these areas, but I will also caution you that a Mercury retrograde is in play from November 25th. I'm actually recording this on November 13th. So for those of you listening in November, there is going to be a Mercury retrograde a few days before Thanksgiving for those people who are Americans. And because that's really when we talk about the beginning of the holiday season. So Mercury is going to be retrograde, and that can affect, for somebody with it in the 11th house, it could affect your social engagements to some degree. Either you have a misunderstanding with a friend, or maybe you are rethinking some of your social contacts, groups that you belong to, things like that, and that is altering the nature of that. There's something there, but at the same time, there is something new that can emerge. I do believe that the manifestation of this, whatever this new moon is more likely to be seen mid-month when Mercury turns direct at 6 degrees of Sagittarius, or maybe a few days after that. On the 6th, Mars goes retrograde at 6 degrees of Leo, and Leo is your opposite sign, Aries. So let's just talk about Mars direct in the 7th house. I'm not going to talk about the whole nature of the Mars retrograde because it is going to go back into the former sign of Cancer. So that's going to affect also your 6th house of work. And of course, this is a general reading, so I can't say for sure exactly when and where this will happen for you, but I'm just kind of doing an overview. And so when Mars is transiting somebody's 7th house, it can be a time when there's a lot of movement in your relationship. Maybe you're doing things together more than you have recently. And I have to say, one of those things you could be doing together is sex, because Mars is the libido. So sometimes the libido may rise up, and it's all of a sudden you're in this hot and heavy phase. However, it can also be having conflict, having arguments with somebody more than you typically are. And this is also the house of legal affairs, so it could be some kind of a legal matter that is really coming into activity that you're initiating, and or Mars is about initiating and pushing forward on this thing. When Mars goes retrograde, that might be halted. Doesn't mean it's going to be halted forever, okay? But it might be halted for the time being. And I mean, this is like, let's say it is a lawsuit, and you're just like, okay, the lawyer's going on vacation, and we'll pick this up after the new year or something like that. But actually, if Mars goes retrograde, and when Mars goes retrograde, it's not going to go direct until late February. So it might be a lot longer than after the new year. But in any case, when Mars goes retrograde, something does feel like it's kind of going internally. So if you're fighting with your partner and you begin to kind of maybe it's something that you're forced to kind of like stop. Maybe you become you get separated from that person. You're not even living under the same roof. I want to make it clear, I'm not saying that this is going to happen to everybody who has Mars in the seventh house and has it go retrograde, that you're going to be fighting more. I'm talking about for the ones that it's true. It might be that you can't fight with them because they're not physically in your presence, but you're still legally married. So when that happens, there might be some frustration. You might be feeling like, oh man, I can't seem to get a handle on what is happening here. And it could feel like you might feel anger about it. And so this is one of those things where it might be a situation of you can make a lot of inner progress, because this is the house of relationships. But sometimes when we are dealing with relationships, we have to really focus on ourselves, because it's easy to blame the other person, but we don't really consider how we are contributing to the situation. So I would say that that would be a really great thing to do. If you're up to it, if you have the guts to, because it can be kind of daunting for sure. Um, Everybody's going to be pissed off for a few months. I mean, where they're going to be like ready to rumble, because they're going to feel so on edge, maybe like feeling hypersensitive. So pick your battles wisely, if you need to have a battle at all. On the 7th, Neptune goes direct at 27 degrees of Pisces. So we have a retrograde on the 6th. Neptune going direct on the 7th. In Pisces, for you, that's the second house of earned income. And Venus goes into your sign on the same day. So for the Neptune transit, there may have been something financially that left you, and this has been an ongoing process for the last 5 months, left you feeling kind of disillusioned about your finances. Maybe you were hoping that something that you were involved with was going to take off more than it did. This is a time when you're going to have renewed faith and idealism involving something. I mean, it could even be something spiritually based. If you had wanted to start a business, like a healing business, or maybe as an artist, you may have felt that something was thwarting that. And this should make you feel more hopeful, renewed, that it isn't going to be as bad as you thought it was, that there is a lot that you can do, and just to be that visionary, that Pisces, that Neptune, because Neptune rules Pisces, that Neptune is all about. On the same day, Venus going into your sign gives you that attractive quality. Attractiveness, I kind of like figured this out. I probably read it somewhere too. But just the idea of attraction is magnetism, really. But is it really about looks? Or is it that je ne sais quoi? That's the special something. Little special something that people have, can have, that you can't really define. So you may have that, and that can benefit you in all areas of life, because this is your sign, first house, so it can be any area of life. On the 15th, the full moon is at 23 of Gemini, fellow air sign to you. This is the first air sign, so this is going to be in front of you, and that means the 5th house of love and creativity. So you could be very fertile with your creative endeavors, but you can also be very romantic right now, Aquarius. I don't think of Aquarius as a romantic sign. I hope you won't be offended by that, but I don't. But this can make you feel like you are in love with someone. And remember, Jupiter is here, so you already have this area being inhabited by this very positive energy. Jupiter is retrograding in Gemini, but it's still in this house. And so you may realize that you're in love with someone. And with that Mars in the seventh house, that could indicate that there's somebody else in the picture. If you are married, you may be like interested in somebody else, and that may have even been causing tension in your marriage. But anyway, on the same day, Mercury turns direct at 6 degrees of Sag in that 11th house. And if you had any kind of slowdown with your earnings, this should be resolved within the next couple of weeks. On the 21st, we have a winter solstice, which is in the northern hemisphere. The sun will be regaining strength. Yay! And this is in Capricorn, the sign before you. So that's really cool. Sun is going into your 12th house, so this emphasizes more solitude, contemplation, and spiritual pursuits. On the 29th on the West Coast, 30th elsewhere, the black moon at 9 degrees of Capricorn in this 12th house, which is the house of spirit, like I just said, solitude, spirituality, the dream state. So new developments here. This is where Pluto was for 16 years. So you can best believe that a lot of you have probably transformed yourself or transformed your spiritual beliefs of some sort in the past decade and a half. Now Pluto is in your sign, so that in addition to having Venus there, that could give you like a lot of magnetism, come to think of it. So anyway, the black moon is supposed to be a really great time for manifestation, which the new moon is all about to begin with. So, set your intentions for the kind of things that you would like to manifest. And that's what I have for you, Aquarius. I hope that you enjoyed this. If you would like a private reading, I'm promoting my double package deals. The deep dive reading is an hour of natal chart analysis with an hour of transits through 2025. And, it's great at the time of year when you're having your solar return. I know that you're not having it quite yet, but you will be, and can look at the kind of themes that are cropping up for you in the next year, and also looking at your natal chart for patterns, gifts, talents, that kind of thing. So anyway, that's what I have for you. I hope that you, oh, wait a minute. Whoa, I'm going backwards here. So anyway, thanks for listening, and I hope you have a great month. Oh my gosh. Bye.